Hey everybody, welcome back to Lala's Lounge. Today we're going to have a sit down with me and talk about some mental health things that we need to become more aware of as we age and how we are starting to nurture and teach our children different things. As you all know, or if you don't know, I'm a full-time therapist for children and families, and so I see a lot of this on a day-to-day basis in my full-time work. So background, just so you know, my background, I have a master's degree in counseling and I have a master's degree in forensics. So today we're going to talk about toxicity in relationships. So whether that be a romantic relationship, friendship, parent and child, or any type of family member or guardian, and a child in the home, or any kind of relationship you can have, but it can even be just co-workers, So some things that I kind of took notes on to kind of touch on and give you guys little tidbits about each thing. First, we're going to talk about support. So what is support in a relationship? What kind of support do you give to the other person, and what kind of support do you receive from that person, and what is it that you need from that person? So support can be if your child is on the football team or the baseball team, you showing up to games, you taking them to practices, you participating with their fundraisers or whatever it is that the team requires for your child to be on that team. Participation, showing your face, asking them about their game if you could not make it. Being interested in things that you may not be interested in because your child is interested in it. As an adult, this may be checking in on your friends to see how that new job is going. Texting them and saying, "Hey, you just had that baby. How's everything going with that? Do you need anything? Are you sick? Do you need me to drop off some soup to you? Whatever." And I think that has shown to be even more true with COVID. Since COVID occurred, people are so separated, or were at one point so isolated that you didn't have a lot of support that you normally may have had in the past. So being supportive. Control. Now, a lot of y'all are super controlling. A lot of you all think that what you say the other person has to do because they care about you or you care about them, they love you, you love them, blah blah blah, so on and so forth. However, some of y'all take this idea of having control and power to another level, and it can become abusive, which is also on my list, and it's on the same line. So being abusive goes beyond physical abuse. Okay, we hear about people talking about, my mama used to beat me when I was little, yada yada yada, and so they carry that on to their kids. But what sense does it make for us as millennials to beat our kids or whatever our parents did to us when you knew how it felt to be beat? So why are we continuing on this cycle, right? So abuse can be physical, abuse can be psychological, abuse can be verbal, abuse can be sexual, abuse can be emotional. So those are the top 5 things we see when you think about abuse. It can go from parent to child, child to parent. It could be in the workplace. You have sexual harassment cases. You hear about all the kind of thing all the time. It could be in a romantic relationship. It can be in a friendship. It can be with your neighbors, whatever. Any type of relationship you have with other people can lead to being abusive depending on how far you take your level of control and power within that relationship. So you have to check those things about yourself and watch out for red flags in other people. Sometimes control can start off with small things. Oh, you wearing that? I don't think you should wear that. No, that don't look. No, you need to wear this. We have people who make a hostile environment for you, and so sometimes that type of relationship, when it's hostile, you think about a hostile work environment. That's what I go to immediately, because sometimes I'll be ready to beep. Okay, so when you think about being hostile towards someone, it creates fear, right? If you're aggressive and not assertive, okay, you make the other person or create a passive person, especially when it's a parent and child relationship. If I am a hostile parent and everything you do, I'm aggressive towards you every time you bring something to me, I'm going to create a child who's scared to come to me for any and everything. I'm going to create an environment where they don't feel like they are safe enough or secure enough in their relationship to present issues or struggles, or just even simply asking for help for any little thing in that relationship because you are hostile towards me. So thinking about that, that leads to having a lack of mutual respect. So if I am the abuser, I probably do not respect you. Because typically, if I respect the person, I'm not going to put them in this position to be abused. I'm not going to abuse that person because I have respect for them. If you are the person who's being abused, you typically are trying to earn respect constantly. And so you overcompensate for things that you feel like you're begging for their approval. And if you're always begging for approval, that's a bad situation to be in, because you're going to always do any and everything to find a way to be accepted by that person, which causes you to be passive. So growth. When you think about growth in relationships, I think about when one person is moving and shaking and making moves, and the other person is stagnant and not doing anything. Okay? So growth can cause problems in relationships. So if you have one person who's not motivated at the time, or loses their job and they're in a funk, and the other person is extremely motivated, out here making moves, out here making things shake and making things happen, that can cause a rift in you all's relationship. Honesty and openness. Now, most of y'all just sit up and lie. I ain't gonna tell you no. I'm gonna tell you the real. Most of y'all sit up and lie like a rug. Why? Especially adults. Like, even parents that I work with sometimes, they lie to me, and I'm like, who am I? I don't pay none of y'all bills up here. Okay? So why are you lying? Just lie because you either have gotten away with it, you're scared of rejection from the person if you tell them the truth, or you just a compulsive liar, and that's what you've been taught to do, is lie, because you may have seen it from your parents or whoever raised you. But it is not helpful in relationships with other people, because once you start lying to them, it's like the bull who cried wolf. When you begin telling the truth, they're still not going to believe your truth, our truth, because you have been caught in lies so many times. And most of y'all are not even good at making up stuff, because it don't be making no sense. Finances. Woo! Child, hold on. Let me get my tea. Now, finances. A lot of y'all be like, you know, I want a man with money. I need a nigga with some money. I need a man with some money. Men, I don't want no broke me. Blah, 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 blah. Shut up. Shut up. Because half of y'all broke. Your mama's broke too. And your daddy's. So I don't know why y'all act like y'all can't be in a situation where you may be struggling at the time, and you trying to put on for social media or whatever else, when you know good and dang on well, your lights was just off. Now, you didn't hear that from me, but some of y'all lights been off. Poor examples. Some of you watching this are a poor example of what it means to be in a relationship with anybody, even yourself. Okay? Your mammies, your daddies, your grandmammy, your grandpappies, your aunties, your uncles, your godparents, your favorite teacher. Some of y'all ain't got it. Okay? And you keep trying to act like your children, grandchildren, whoever else you around are supposed to be mirrors of you. And don't nobody want to be like you, Uncle Joe. We don't want that. We don't want to be like you, because you are a piss poor example of what it means to be a man, or a poor example of what it means to be a woman. So please, again, if everyone has a problem with you, you are probably the common denominator in the situation, and it probably is true. It's probably you. Okay? So if you have a poor example of what it means to be an adult, and you don't know what it takes to be an adult, look outside of your circle. No one is saying you got to be like your big mama. We ain't doing that no more. One-sided relationships. A lot of y'all have one-sided relationships, whether it's friendship, romance, whatever, sisterhood, whatever you want to call it. It's one-sided. A lot of you all have struggles with being communicative with other people who you are in relationships with. And so the other person is working harder than you to keep the relationship going. When you find yourself always being the one to reach out, always being the one to invite them to lunch, to invite them to dinner, to invite them out, doing things, yada, 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 you're in a one-sided relationship. Ladies, stop trying to drop hints to these men about what you want for your birthday and what kind of date you want to go on, and asking them for a date and telling them you want to go out. They know that. I mean, men are not that dumb. They know you want to do things. It's a matter of they don't want to do it with you. Okay, moving on. Draining. Goes on to draining. Okay? If I'm drained when I'm around you, my energy is low. If the vibe is off when I'm around you, we probably don't need to have a relationship. If every time we get together, I'm emotionally just toe up from the flow up by the time I leave you, it's probably time for me to cut ties. Bye-bye. Beat it. Kick rocks. Insecure. Insecurity is a big one because a lot of us have an unrealistic ideation of what you're supposed to be like in relationships with people in general. And it stems from our parents. You know, some parents are like, you're not good enough. You're not good enough. You're not good enough. You're too big. You're too skinny. You're too short. You're too tall. Your hair too nappy. Blah, 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 blah. You know, all those things you hear parents like giggling about and making fun of their own kids a lot of times when they're younger. And so you grew up thinking you're not good enough. And then you find a man who just like your daddy and just like your mama. And they reinforce what you already thought about you. So then you start having intrusive thoughts. That's when you start thinking negatively in your mind about whatever. And you believe those negative thoughts because you don't know how to thought stop yet. You don't know how to block those things yet. You don't have any coping skills yet. And so that kind of just like seeps on into other relationships with friends, whomever. You're always feeling like you're missing something. If they didn't call you to go to brunch, they don't like me anymore, girl. Find something to do. Get some business. Clean your house. Everything's not about you, sweetie. Okay? Fellas, you ain't got to be in the club with your boys every weekend. Y'all can go wash some clothes. Get your car detailed. You know what I'm saying? Go to the grocery store. Hit that lining up. Okay? Detox the beard, sweetie. Okay? Co-dependency. A lot of y'all are codependent. Y'all think it's cute and it's fun and it's funny. And no, it's not. If every time I leave my house, you blowing me up, you questioning me, you want to know when you're coming back, I feel like you are a sociopath. Like something's off. Something's not, it's not quite right. The wind is blowing the wrong direction. Okay? You're going against the grain. It's not cute. You cannot be codependent upon another person. Because guess what? When you die, ain't no sidecar casket, ain't no bunk bed casket. Nobody's going to jump in the dirt with you. I don't give a hoot how much they love you, baby. Nobody's going in that ground with you. So you cannot be dependent on another human being when you can't depend on them to go with you in the afterlife. Moving on. Avoidance. Avoidance of issues, avoidance of topics, avoidance of struggles, avoidance of hard topics to talk about with other person. If you are an avoidant person, you're going to struggle in relationships because usually what happens is something happens that you do not like, and guess what? You're out of there, right? Okay, that's fine and dandy. If you want to do that, you want to ghost people, you want to blah, 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 ignore them, block them, yada, yada. That's great. No, that's great for that. That's great. However, you are going to still wonder. Like, there's no way you're going to just be like, oh, I'm just blocking it. No, You're gonna wonder. You're gonna wonder what happened, why it happened, what you should have said. You practicing what you was gonna say. When you get to, if you see him in the streets, you gonna bother. You ain't gonna do nothing. Because you're scary and you're scared of confrontation. And that's the reason why most of the time people avoid hard topics, because they're scared of what the other person's going to say. They're scared of getting their feelings hurt. They're scared that they're going to be wrong and have to actually admit that they're wrong, because people don't like to do that. They don't want to take accountability for their actions. They don't want to be responsible for what they do or say or what they did and said. So all those things create avoidant people. And when you have an avoidant person, things don't get done. Okay. Toxic communication is the last one that I want to just kind of pop in and talk about real quick. All these things are part of toxic communication, of course. We talk about communication all the time. People don't know how to communicate. Everybody's talking about communication is key. Shut up. Because y'all, anytime I speak with you, if we're always fighting, that is a problem. And you shouldn't even want to talk to somebody who you always have to fight, right? Even if we're having a debate about something, and let's just say we have two different opinions. I'm on the opposing side of what you talking about, or the majority of the room, or wherever. It can be a game night. It can be whatever. That does not mean that you lose respect and become disrespectful to that person just because they do not believe in what you believe in. Because to me, when you have that type of attitude where you can't take when someone else believes something different than you, you're insecure. No one wants to be around somebody who's always want to argue and fight with everybody. Because eventually somebody gonna bop you on your lip, and now you got a whole nother problem. But I'm gonna sip my tea. I hit a nerve and you pissed off right now. You better check yourself. Check yourself. Okay? Look in the mirror. Look around you. Go back and do a relationship inventory. Go back and look at all your relationships that have failed and figure out, write it down. Where did I go wrong? What? Maybe I was wrong in this situation. Maybe I should listen to the 5 people who said before this one. Okay, I'm just a messenger. I'm just saying what I see. Now, I struggle with some of these too, right? Everybody does. This is not a beat down on my audience day. I'm just telling y'all, watch yourself, check yourself. Be conscious of what your biases are. Be conscious of how you speak and how you communicate to other people. Even your body language is communication, okay? Be mindful of how you speak to your children. Be mindful of what you say around them. Be mindful of what types of relationships they witness between you and friends, you and their mama, their daddy, you and their people, you and your neighbors. Watch how you interact with other people when your children are around, and how you talk about people and talk about things when your children are around, because they are mimicking and mocking every single thing you do, and they telling it. Miss Lala, my mama said me. Okay? Because it comes from somewhere. It comes from somewhere. It doesn't just, kids are not just doing stuff out of the blue because they just doing it. For the most of the time, it's learned behavior. It's model behavior for them. About 87% of the time, it's the parents. It's y'all. It is y'all. I can't take it no more. It's y'all. You guys kind of suck. And that's all right, because I'm going to get you where you need to be. But I can't reach everybody. So pass this on along to your cousins now. And, send it to your mama. Send it to your daddy. Send it to you, whoever raised you, or didn't raise you. Whoever house you grew up in. Because it ain't going to the top. It ain't clicking up here with us. And I'm talking about with us. It ain't, ooh. Okay, so this is some free game for y'all. All right, y'all got about a 20-30 minute session for the free. All right, so this is compacted. This is not broken down. This is just real quick. But take away what you need to take away. Leave what you need to leave. All right, if it don't apply to you, don't come in my comment section talking no mess, because you will be blocked. I will politely check you and respond to you, and then you will be blocked. Because I know what I know. Okay, so if this applies to you and you liked it, let me know what you learned. Let me know what you think. Okay, what you think? What do you think about what I'm saying? Because I want to have a little discussion in the comment section about how you all communicate and what have you realized about yourself in adulthood that maybe was not the right thing as a child, or if you have kids. I don't have my own kids, but I have a lot of kids I work with. So, what have you learned about you as a parent, as an adult, if you have kids? What have you learned about your childhood self versus your adult self? Have you changed in any ways? Have you had a discussion with your guardians or parents, whoever raised you, about how they parented you at some point, or relationships that you've had that been kind of just this running theme of not working out? What are you doing different? So let's talk about that in the description box at the bottom. And I'll see y'all in my next one. Tapuki, I said, what's up? Gang, gang. Peace out. Like, share, subscribe.